Sometimes you need brisket, but you don't have 20 hours. So what do? You cook it hotter than everybody says you're supposed to cook it. I don't know, is that what you do? I'm just guessing. I've never... Alright, here's the deal. I've cooked 4 briskets before. All 4 of them were fine. Nothing was incredible. One of them, the fat wasn't rendered. One of them, it was dry. I think I've grown as a person since then, and I think it's time to nail one. However, I don't want to just do a boring, oh, I cooked a brisket on a big green egg. So what we are going to do is I'm going to cook it hot and fast. The lowest temp I'm going to see today, that this is going to see today, is going to be 300 degrees. Because I feel like everybody talks about it, but I don't know anybody who actually does it. Because everybody's like, oh, you got to do super smoke. You got to go 180 degrees. You got to do this. Whatever. I don't have that time. It is currently 10:46 in the morning. The coals are getting lit outside as we speak. I'm gonna trim this up, salt and pepper it. No crazy brine, no crazy nothing. We're gonna throw it on. We're gonna see how this goes. All right, I'm gonna be real here. I am upset because I didn't see this. This brisket has been slaughtered, but the show must go on. I'm gonna trim this up, make it nice and smooth, give it some nice flow for this smoke to run across. I refuse to let this be a failure. This is gonna go great, so. However, Sam's Club, shame on you. What I know about brisket trimming is pretty minimal. I want it to be a little smooth, I want it to flow. I know I don't need all this extra fat. Alright, as you can see here, getting a nice little flow. Straight fat, we don't want that, I'm told. This is just a little gray, so we're gonna take this off. So who wants to eat gray food? Oh man, there's a lot of fat on this. Got these coals ripping hot. I'm gonna throw them on the egg. Alright, so we got a nice bed of coals probably. We're gonna dump this in. I want to get the egg to 300 degrees. I'm going to leave it at 300 degrees for the entirety of the cook. I'm still pretty novice when it comes to lighting this bad boy up, but my understanding is, you know, it's a 180-pound grill. So you want the whole thing to be warm. I don't want this to just say it's hot. I want the whole thing to be basically radiating that temperature. I'm just going to close this. I'm going to leave this open, and I'm going to leave this pretty open, and I just want this to slowly come up to temperature while I season and get my brisket ready. Currently, I'm kind of feeling around for just really hard fat. Not a bad looking brisket, baby. I honestly don't believe I've ever really done a binder on a brisket. I think I usually just season it, but I'm doing hot sauce on this. I'm gonna do salt, pepper, paprika, and garlic powder, because I want the garlic powder on there for the flavor, and I want the paprika on there for the color of the bark. All right, we're looking peppery. Coarse kosher salt. And last but not least, orange. Look at that. Look at the size of this bad boy. I found this bag at Walmart. Fattest charcoal I've ever found. We're sitting at about 330 degrees. I think that's fine. I like it because this smoke was really billowing and now you can't see it nearly as much. So I think we're nearing the end of the whole dirty smoke thing. But I want to get this on here, so let's get this rolling. So I've got one in the flat, one in the point. We're looking great. I'm just going to throw this on here and we're going to get this moving, baby. Fish on. All right, probe 1 is my flat. Probe 3 is my point. Don't let me forget that. Got the temp at 300, just above. Get these bad boys turned on so we know where we're at with everything. Yeah, and honestly, I'm not that worried. I think I want to keep it between 300 and, I mean, I want to keep it below 350. I do. So we'll see. I've never had the vent set for something like this, so I'm just going to tighten them up a little bit and we'll see how this goes. We put the brisket on at 12:30 p.m. I'm expecting to take it off at about 7. It was 13 pounds before I trimmed it. It's probably more like 10. Now that it's on there, maybe 11. Typically it's like an hour a pound when it's low and slow. So going north of 300 degrees, half an hour per pound. Let's say, I think we'll take it off at 6:30. 6:30 at the latest. And then my plan is to let it rest, because in my experience, resting beef is extremely important compared to pork and anything else. We're about 90 minutes in. Time's about 2 p.m. right now. We put it on at 12:30 and it looks like the flat is about 15 degrees ahead of the point, which I don't think is a lot of cause for concern, but in the past when I've done a brisket, it usually seems like it's maybe 7 to 10 degrees ahead. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna flip it around real quick.
Oh man, that is not looking bad at all right now.
We want them to try and cook as close to each other as possible. That is what makes brisket so tricky, is one part is very fatty and big and one part's very thin, and you want them to both be done at the same time. So that's why you see a lot of people, you know, the point is perfect, but the flat is dry, right? So I'm trying to avoid that. By the way, I was complaining earlier about what I had to take off of my brisket. Per the internet, if you just cook this down for a while, you can run this all through a strainer. They say you're supposed to have a fine one, but this is as fine as I have. And you can keep it, and you can use it as beef tallow. So that's what I'm trying to do. Oh. Still probably a little wet. You know what, that bark feels set. So we're still at 300, flat is at 183, and our point is at 171. So I am gonna take this off, and we're gonna put it in foil, and then this is actually gonna be some brisket fat. I took all the trimmings off this brisket, and I cooked it up for a couple hours on low, and I actually got 2 jars of this stuff. So I'm gonna dump some of this on top, and we're gonna hope that it all works out. Alright, hopefully I have enough foil. We're just winging this whole thing. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna get tongs in case this hurts. I don't know why, but somehow a spatula felt like it made more sense. So we're looking delicious. Big green egg owners, that's a mistake that I have made before. Is last time I did this, I took it off and I left my grill open, and I spent 2 minutes wrapping it and putting the butter on, getting it back on. This grill will hold temp like no other. So if you let it get super hot, which is what's gonna happen if you let the coals be exposed to air that long, it's gonna change the whole cook. So last time I did this, I actually raised my temp quite a bit because I left the grill open for a few minutes. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. All right, do I boat this or do, oh geez. Boat, wrap, boat, wrap, boat, wrap. Step 1. Half a jar of that beef fat. Hey, one is showing 170, one's showing 174, which is a great thing. So we are now going to let this run at 300 degrees, wrapped with its juices until it temps out. This is what we're sitting at for our temps, 170, 174. No idea which one's in the point and the flat. At this point, I don't even think it matters, but we're going to come out here once it's around 200 degrees internal. Running a little bit hotter, but that's okay. It's gotten the smoke that it needs, and at this point, we're just trying to get it there. And, you know, hot and fast is the theme anyways, so 340 isn't going to kill us. We put it on at 12:30. The time is now 3:15. We wrapped it. The flat was at 180, and the point was at 170. We trapped a bunch of beef tallow in there, so just stuff that I cooked out of the trimmings that we had left over. And now we're going to leave that until its temperature is close to what we think it should be. I would expect it to be another hour or 2. This has been going fast already, so we will see. So it's been 3 hours. When I bought it, it was 13 pounds. When I put it on, it was probably 10. We're at 186 and 189. Half an hour per pound, it should take 2 more hours. If it takes 2 more, 190. If it takes 2 more hours for this to be probe tender, that'd be nuts. So, this 10-pound brisket is probably going to be done in 3.5 hours, which is insane. I'm expecting this to be a little disappointing. We're going to hope for the best on this. The hotter part is definitely the flat, but they're only 3 degrees apart right now, which is good. If I take it off before 4:30, I will let it rest until probably 7. And I'm just going to set it on the counter and let it sit until it comes down to 160. And we'll take it out and we'll slice it. I'm anticipating not edible brisket. 206 and 204 are the temps that we're looking at. So I'm just going to rip this open. That feels nice. That feels really nice. It's saying the flat is at 210 and the point's at 203. I am going to let this rest on the counter in the kitchen for a while. We're just going to let this guy hang out. It's going to cook a little bit more. It was like 208 and 210 in the point and flat when I took it off. So I'm going to let this sit for quite a while. I will come back at about 6:30 and we'll cut into it and we'll see how it looks. I don't know. I mean, it feels probe tender. It looked great when we wrapped it. So I know it shouldn't turn out good.
but I am very hopeful.
Showtime!
I am horrified. So I just had it sitting in this little, wow, I just spilled water everywhere.
So this is a recap. We put this on at 12:30 and we took it off at 4:15 and it was temping at 208 and 210 in the point and flat. So that's a 3 hour and 45 minute cook, and now I let it sit for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, but I'm starving and I really want to know. 2 hours has to be plenty.
This is the moment of truth.
Okay, okay. There's jiggle to this. There is 100% hope. Yeah, okay, this might work.
This is how we're looking. I mean, that's a good sign. That's a really good sign.
Okay.
All right, Bean Queen.
Yeah.
Moment of truth.
Do I have to come over there?
I don't think so. My heart is almost pounding. Okay.
For starters, that's not too bad for a brisket that was cooked in 3 hours. Ha! All right. I don't even know if I'm gonna leave that in or not, but I was trying to figure out which way the grain is, and I just did. So now my flat is pointy, but I did find the grain. I forgot which part. I didn't mark it, and I usually do.
It's cutting really smooth. The flat doesn't look dry. There is a smoke ring, and it's got some bend to it. That's pulling apart pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like that's not too bad. It's not pulling apart as easy,
But it does not seem like it's a loss at all. I'm pumped. It's got... That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all.
Didn't do too bad of a job on trimming that fat. Every other brisket I've done overnight, and it's taken forever, and some of them have turned out pretty suboptimal. I threw this brisket on at 12:30 today. It is 6:30, and this is the result I got. This is the smoke ring I got. This is the pull apart that I got.
And I'm sure, I'm not perfect. I've done very few briskets, and I am sure that this little resistance that you're seeing on this tear apart is something that likely just an easy mistake that I myself made that someone else would know better about. Part of this appears burned.
This is a piece off of the point. This is delicious. The best brisket I've probably ever made, which is nice because I've only made a few, so it means we're getting better. This is my point. These are the flat pieces, which I'm sorry they look so obliterated. It's because I've been tearing them apart. Nothing bad about what we see here.
This brisket is banging, and I only had it on the grill for 3 hours. It was a full packer brisket. So I'm gonna definitely keep on trying different cuts of meat hot and fast just to see. I am a brisket novice, so comparing it to the other briskets I've done, I can say one, it might be the best, and two, if it's not, it's extremely comparable to the ones where I cooked it at 225 for 4 times as long. So the fact that I put this on at lunch and had smoked barbecue brisket ready for dinner, that's great. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Bark's great, everything's great, flavor's great. I'm pumped. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about the hot and fast method below. Peace.